Hello, today I want to do a quick video on DP or DOP, which is Director of Photography, and it's just mainly about getting angles. I know there's a lot of people that just go by a strict list of rules and they stick with those. Sometimes I like to break those or stretch them into something else, and we're going to go ahead and get right down to it. I did want to mention, if you like the channel, if there's something you do like, make sure you give us a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow that subscriber list, and we do have some films coming out. And Bitter will be out on the 27th. It's already uploaded and waiting to premiere. So anyway, let's get on with the video. Now, DPN, I'm not going to say I've ever been perfect at that, but through the last couple of years I have learned quite a bit about it. And I wanted to show you this here in the corner of the screen. That's one of my favorite kind of dramatic scenes. I've got this scene. It'll be coming up in Bitter as well. You'll notice there is a scene with a different actor, but it's the same scene, and it just creates drama. And I just kind of roll the camera right up kind of at their face and make sure that it is used for the right thing. You want to make sure that it's properly used. To me, it creates a real dramatic turnaround kind of effect. If you haven't watched COVID 2020, that's what this is from. And you can go and reference that that shot there to that movie and kind of see what I mean. But you've probably seen, let's go ahead and get rid of that. You've probably seen a lot of DPs, they'll do this little, I think they do it kind of twisted back like this. And if you don't know this is a good time to make sure you do that with your hands, and you're kind of representing what your television screen will see. You kind of close the one eye, make sure you're looking directly through there. You can move it around, and that'll give you a good idea, or at least a decent simulation of what you're going to get out of that shot. Now, if you want to show something where the actor or what you're filming is kind of dominant, you'll probably want to go from a down angle and go up to them. So that'll create dominance within your character. And, completely reverse to that, obviously, the idea would be look down if you don't want them to be so dominant, and you want them to be more of the submissive object or person within the frame. So if you do just make that, you can kind of look through things and figure out what you're going to actually see. Now, your DP, a lot of times you'll see them thinking about the shot, trying to get it into their mind what they're actually shooting and how that's going to play out. Especially if you don't have a whole lot of a storyboard available, or you're doing that kind of on the fly. And that does happen in a lot of films, I've noticed. There's only a script written through, and they really didn't storyboard it like they should have. Okay, and another one, let's go to this photo here. This one I really like. This just shows your object up close, and you see the person or the object you can use in the background. Now, a lot of horror films will use this as like someone's being spied on. You may have seen that in several horror films. I've seen it in so many. But I actually used it as more of a lonesome kind of scene in this. This was also from COVID 2020, and you can check that scene out. I think it's about a quarter of the way through that short film that's on here, on the channel, that is. But it's more of like a lonesome. They're walking down the road and they're alone, and they're just kind of fuzzied. And with them being fuzzied, the idea to me was that they're not quite together, and then you got this solid object right there, which is the tree, perfectly in focus. It's fine, but that whole background, kind of lonesome. They're distorted a little bit, and that was the idea for that. And let's go ahead and get rid of that, and we'll put this up. Now this is one of my favorite scenes out of COVID 2020, and that's because I started to learn how to use, it's similar to the last one, but it's quite a bit different if you kind of reverse that, where the object close to you is out of focus, but the background's in focus. And it created a real eerie vibe. Now, the reason for this would definitely go into a lot of horror films, almost as a building drama or being spied on or something of that nature. Now in this, it's just a really like kind of eerie feel. This is in COVID 2020. She had just discovered this shed out in the middle of nowhere, and this was going to be the most lonesome place in the world. And there's not necessarily somebody like stalking her, per se. It wasn't used for that kind of feel. It was more of just playing a mind trip kind of on the audience, and it really keeps the film flowing and real interesting at that point, because there are some things in that film that aren't perfect. It was not the first film I'd done that was bitter, but this was the second, and it was during a time when we were in lockdown and it was really hard to get much done. Okay, and because I'm not going to say that I'm a complete professional on DP or director of photography, but there is something I did want to cover that I've learned of late here with lighting, and I know it gets kind of into the grip or lighting element of filming, but I think DPs should really know what they're doing here and what they're wanting to do. Obviously, they kind of call the shots when you have colored lighting and color correction, live on your shots. So you might use a blue light that may create kind of a calm or cool mood, and then your red lighting, it may create more heat in the picture, if that makes sense. I know they say warmth, but I say heat because you'll use that for more of a warm kind of sunny day feel, and you'll use the blue for more of a cooler kind of a fall or autumn feel to it, maybe, and definitely in winter, because if you look in many winter shots in movies, you'll see a lot more blue in that. Now the blue also kind of creates a bit of eeriness to it, and the red creates more of a dramatic, I know it's used in a lot of horror films, but it creates a dramatic. So I've learned to actually mix those, whereas there's the latest movie I'm working on, I really don't want to tell too much about it, but I kind of play with those lighting colors, and I go ahead and do that live, and I swap from one to another sometimes to create kind of an unbalanced feel, so you keep your audience kind of on the edge of their seat, because that's a way to keep them interested. And I figured that was just a point worth throwing out here. That way it gives you a little bit more creativity. So just a few ideas on DPing on your films, or you can even use some of these methods perhaps on certain kind of documentaries, and definitely on music videos, because on Omi's music video that's on this channel, Northern Lights, we used a lot of those type of things in the music video just to create an eerie atmosphere for the aliens, and I really didn't know what I was doing at the time. We were just so strapped on money and finances, we didn't have the proper lighting, so we actually end up stumbling upon a few lighting methods that we didn't realize we were doing. We were just using what we had. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. Like I said, November 27th, we will have Bitter right here on the channel, so make sure you subscribe, catch that movie. Everything's free on here. So anyway, till the next video, I'll see you later, and thank you for watching.